Look at that.
Boom, check it out. We're at
289 of A to the show.
289. We're almost at
We're in
290,
Dubai
boys.
now with Moh Flow.
That's right. And we also have our very own Amir Al-Esmar is with us today. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming on the show, Moh Flow.
Let the world know who you are, what you do.
Shit. I'm Malam Hamsi. I'm also known as Moh Flow. I'm a singer-songwriter. I rap, own and run a marketing agency called Harmony. And just I try to be a cultural producer as well as an artist, man.
That's
great. That's great. It's good to see kids from our backyards making it out in the in the hip hop world. It's something amazing to see, actually. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, speaking about, there is something I want to ask you. When I was younger, whenever we used to listen to music, there was a lot of rap coming out, and my parents used to tell me a lot of the time, "Don't listen to that. That's the devil's music." Yeah, pretty much. He relates. A lot of people relate. Did you have that experience starting out?
Yes and no, man. My parents were the coolest. I mean, I feel like my mom used to sing herself, and but her parents didn't let her pursue it as a career. So when my older brother became a producer, instead of my parents stopping him from becoming that, they actually bought him the equipment and helped him become that. So when we started listening to Eminem and all this very crazy, wild cowboy, rap, my parents didn't really get the English so much, so they might have not truly understood how crazy what we were listening to was. So there was a level of that, but at the same time, there was always a level like my dad's like, why you gotta keep fucking all the time?
Why you gotta keep fucking?
And I'm like, I don't know. This is what we love. But my aunt one time found me playing my young cousin Limp Bizkit, and she went ham on me and broke the tape and all of that. So we had some of that, but my parents were so fascinated with the fact that we wanted to do this kind of music stuff, so we never had that kind of like backlash and stuff, to be honest.
That's
nice.
Pretty cool.
Nice,
so let me ask you this then, since we're talking about you growing up in music, what got you very close to music the way you are today? Like, what pushed you? Was it your parents, or did you just find a natural affinity to music?
I don't know. Yeah, I did find a natural affinity to music. I was like, before I had a push to listen to music, I gravitated towards it. Like, I used to be a metalhead, then I became more of into house, techno, and stuff like that. So it was always something that I loved, but I never considered myself, or considered making it myself. That was always inspired by my older brother, who's also my partner and everything. Because growing up, he was always producing and had random rappers at the house, and I was just like trying to knock the door, like, can I come in? Can I see what you guys are doing? So the passion for becoming an actual artist came from following in the footsteps of my older brother, who was always in a studio somewhere, always had some kind of rap, hip hop, R&B, something happening at the house,
That's great. That's amazing.
Nice.
So
I kind of relate to that, because I also, when I was like younger, I was like 15, 16, I was a bit of a metalhead myself. I think Elliot remembers. I was really into that. And now I've transitioned heavily into hip hop as well. So listening to it, obviously I don't really dabble in the music making, but it's nice to see that other people have went through that. And I do have a question for you, like, who was the artist that kind of got you to transition into hip hop?
It started with Eminem, and then it went into a bit of like the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. So it started with Eminem mostly, but very briefly, and then really fed into West Coast. I was a West Coast kid for the longest time, from Daz and Corrupt and, Snoop and all those out. So that was my whole vibe. And then I met a friend of mine, in high school, even in middle school. We were playing basketball. He was like, "Yeah, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, Onyx." When I'm like, "Who the fuck are all of those you just named?" And he was like, "Oh, there's a whole West Coast, you're only listening to this one area in US, you know, like come. And he put me on this whole thing, you know, and like then I became more knowledge. Like, okay, there's a whole different era and vibe of hip hop. So it was such a discovery phase for me, and I feel like I still go through it till this very day. So
they were very unique artists as well. They had their own touch, each of them. Whereas now, you must have seen that clip of Snoop Dogg making fun of like. Now
they all just sound the same. Yeah, they do. They really do.
But that flow, Saraha made like $17 billion in 2 years. So like,
it did. We're not saying it didn't. Everyone's question who's into hip hop is just how, like just how, like what went wrong in the system? Where did everyone?
They hit the right equation, I guess.
I mean,
it was always like that, guys. Like there's always the one wave, and everyone rides the wave. It was one time the Lil Wayne vibe. Before that, you know, it was always the Chingy. Remember Chingy and Soulja Boy? Like it was always some kind of vibe, and then everyone tries to do it. Yeah, and we wear it out, and then we get to the next one.
Yeah.
So,
but there's a difference a little bit between like the pioneer of the wave and those who ride it. Like,
yes, yeah, of course. But who am I to say? Like, Soulja Boy wanted to tell you that he originated the internet. So, like, how far?
Let's disregard everything Soulja Boy says, because
look, when Drake said, "Tell me what's really going on." Drizzy Drake up in this thing, I'm ready. What's happening? That's not even any of his bars. Those are all Soulja Boy's bars. Go back to Soulja Boy's records. He stole the whole thing. So you have to give credit where credit's due, but how far do you go back? You know.
Fair enough.
And I had a in one of my verses I had a line where I said, you know, like it's basically who did it first is better, or someone who did it better later is better.
Yeah.
Like, which one is it?
Like in my humble opinion, one of my friends is gonna get pissed off watching. You know who you are. Eminem had his Superman. What was that verse? Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Monday go. But Drake, like he integrated that perfectly in his Chicago freestyle. Like he did it, he executed perfect. Like it was very well done by him. But stealing and taking bars in the rap game is something not very new per se. It's not something that's recently happened. It's the only difference is it makes it right if you tell people like, hey, this is where I got it from, right? But there are some people who don't even acknowledge it at all.
Your point of view is rooted in this new ageness of me going on the screen and saying, hey, I got this from there. But, you know, some artists, bro, they put their art out and then they disappear. And then you should understand that this is how it is, you know, this is what the culture is like. But we feel the need to have to explain all these things all the time. But you know what it is, like expressionism is what it is.
I mean, I feel like if you are a person who really is into music, once I heard Drake sing it, I was like, oh, he got it from Superman. This is like a reference from the Superman verse, right? Because I'm a person who's deeply, like, I'm a huge audiophile. The shit I listen to does not make sense to anyone who looks at my playlist. Like I can go 1980s R&B all the way to like new age rap, back to 21 Savage. I'll go for a bit of Drake, right? Like mine is something that's very mixed up, which is pretty cool. I like it. So for you, do you feel like all you listen to now is hip hop, or do you touch on your past in metal and in R&B and all these different stuff?
Yeah, and I'm curious about your sampling as well. Like what kind of music do you kind of lean towards when you're working on your samples?
So in terms of what I listen to, because Saraha, guys, I listen to more podcasts than I do listen to music.
While you're at it, that's information, get information.
And I'm also an Audible dude, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Interesting.
In terms of music, I like to listen to more R&B than I do listen to hip hop, Salaha, because
Yes.
I'm more of a melodic guy. So like
Yes.
the hardcoreness sometimes it's played out, you know. I love melody and emotion in music for sure.
Okay.
In terms
cool.
in terms of just to answer Amir's question, in terms of where I get inspiration from sampling, to be honest, man, I don't know if I even sample music like that. The way I work is I try to bring a point of reference of things that exist online. Sit with Ayham, my producer, and say like, this is what I'm feeling. I might record a demo and like record a concept on someone else's music and just share it with him, and then that will spark the idea that we want to take further. But I cannot create not having full control over every piece that's in my music. If something is a thing that's already laid out for me that I can't chop, cut up, or take something out of, or put something in, it kind of throws me off. So
you like to put your full input.
And I rarely sample also because I can't really clear samples because I don't have any label or funding or backing. So we have to create everything from scratch. And I think that was one of my strongest suits to begin with. I was one of the first artists in the Middle East that could distribute music on iTunes, and because I owned every single piece of my music, where everyone was still doing YouTube beats and buying leases, but the lease doesn't give you the full right. And fast forward to now, everyone knows this information. You know what I mean?
So that's amazing.
That's really interesting.
Do you feel like this has affected your creative side of music when it comes to creating and distributing? Because it seems to me that you're balancing both of these worlds right now. So do you feel like at times one might affect the other, and if so, how?
Yeah, I mean, it does. You can listen to a sample and know that you can make the biggest hit out of that. But if you're already fast forwarding into the business mindset of it, it does set you back, and you might not even attempt to make that genius record that could come out if you had no, this whole construct in your mind. If you let that go, you might have created the best song of your life. For me, it does play a big role, and it does stop me because I also have, so just to like maybe to veer off the topic, like I am an immigrant in all respects. I'm a Syrian passport holder, and I live in the Gulf, which is as everyone would know, it's a blessing to be obviously in a place that I can be safe and make good money and have my family on. But it's also very tough. There's an identity crisis. Like, am I really? Am I not? What am I doing? Do I have a future? Do I not? So I've always been mad busy trying to secure myself and my bag and my family, that I don't like. I might not spend as much time as your average artist who doesn't have any of these things going on. You know what I mean? I always think like if I had a much more chill lifestyle where I could spend 12 hours a day just thinking of music and creating to create, I might be a whole different artist. So I'm like, I have to balance these kind of two things, and it does take away from my creativity for sure. To answer your question.
Oh wow,
It's
Nice.
right.
I feel like you're very nuanced with your ideas. You spent a lot of time thinking about what kind of artist you want to be and what kind of music you want to bring to the table, and that's I think that's really interesting on your end.
I think I did, but at the same time, I tried to let things flow as much as possible. I want to have a theme around me and shit, but I also want to have the fluidity to feel like I want to change my mind and just like approach it from a whole different point of view and be able to do that without feeling like I'm contradicting myself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right.
And with that, I have another question. What kind of artists do you look up to these days, if any? A top
people
three,
like
perhaps.
Kendrick, man. People like Kendrick Lamar. I like Drake, but I don't know if I'm gonna put him in my 3 because in the past 2 albums, I don't feel like I've been like feeling him like that personally. Even though Drake changed my whole outlook on music and a lot of things back in the days, but I don't know. I feel like I'm listening to a lot of Kendrick. I listen to a lot of Giveon. It's just very R&B.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you in terms of R&B because I just discovered Giveon. The guy is crazy. He is crazy. His tenor when singing, like the tenor that he can do, is just out of this world. I fell in love with his music.
I'm not texting. I'm looking through my playlist just to understand what I've been
I'll pull up my playlist right now, dude. I'll show you all the Gibeon shit I've been listening to. It's crazy.
I listened to a guy called Ellie Softstraight. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
I'm not too familiar.
Shout out though. Yeah.
Shout out, man.
I don't know, but I fuck with this guy, man. He's very low key, but melodic and writing wise and consistency. I'm inspired by this guy. Yeah. And for Rose, there's a new guy called Beam I've been listening to. He's crazy. Yeah. Baby Keem.
Do you have a Spotify playlist that we could share for the viewers as well?
Yeah, man. Harmony. So if you go on Spotify, Harmony is our page right here. We create playlists.
We'll leave a link of that in the description below. Obviously. We'll do that.
Yeah, I curate those weekly. I upload them all the time.
Oh, amazing.
It's crazy.
I haven't promoted yet. But yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm on into the show.
Text my designer. I need content. I need promo content.
No, but it's great. So yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
I want to ask you a question that we get asked a lot of the time. So we do our podcast in English mostly because we want to reach people around the world. A lot of times we get guests ask us, why don't you do your show in Arabic, since we're three Arabs, pretty much. I'm going to ask that question to you. So you're an Arab from Syria. You said most of your, the people who influence you are actually Western American, right? But in your music, you do have some Arab words and you do have your own Arabian style, but you sing in English. Why English?
I don't know, man. Growing up, I made fun of Arabic music. Growing up, يا حبيبي حبيتك حبيتني شفتك شفتني like خلاص we get it.
That's one theme in Arabic music, isn't it?
Like a song that inspired me, and a song that inspired me was حلف القمر by George Wassouf. It was one of the most poetic records, but it was so rare to find that. So I never was inspired to get kind of into the back, the history of it. I was always inspired by Western art and Western storytelling. Yani maybe my fault would be not have read enough Arab books, maybe, and really understood our history and how we tell stories. So I fell into the Western part of the world, which the media is just easier to consume as a kid, studying English and being pushed by your family. Yeah, learn English. English is better. So there was this whole crisis of do I not? So I fell into that, and then now there's a whole thing where Arabic is popping 20 times more than anything English, especially for people like us. And now it comes in, are you going to be original? Are you going to stick to what you've been doing and keep doing it? Or are you going to now do, the complete opposite? Like Ram Riddles did a song called Ya Habibti, and that song is trash. But it's just because he wants to capitalize on it. I love Ram. I love Ram Riddles. I listen to a lot of his shit.
Ram, we love you, but that was not the one.
That was not the one. So do you want to do that, or do you want to, actually do it when you feel like it? I've written and recorded 5-6 records in Arabic already. I've been getting help from people like Anas Arabi, and I've been getting help from people like Dafi. And I've been trying, but I will not do it just for the numbers or for the clout. I want to do it if it feels right. And I feel like you guys should too. You guys should interview people in Arabic. You should cross, you should cross the barrier of wondering if it's corny or not, and say, fuck everybody and fuck everyone's opinion. I'm going to try it out,
I mean, we have done it
approaching
before.
It from that.
We've done a few episodes fully in Arabic before.
Perfect.
But our point in doing in Arabic is just so it can reach a global audience, because now English is the international language, right? So if people from, I don't know, Portugal want to come and watch the show, they get to understand it because it's in English, right? And if people in Japan want to watch it too, they can also watch it because, again, it's in English. But sometimes we do be like, you know what? let's go back to our roots. Let's do 1 episode or 2 episodes in Arabic, and we do. Touching on
Smart.
that, Ali, enable sharing screen. I want to show you my playlist. I'm gonna have a musical professional judge my playlist. How about that?
Playlist wars.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, cool. Here is my
While you prepare that,
Spotify.
I have a question. Oh,
Go ahead.
You're ready.
Yeah,
Let's do the
let's do it.
review
Right.
real quick.
So as I said,
I like you're following A to the show. That's good. I like that.
that's so
Thumbs up.
you can find us on Spotify, by the way. We're right
I
here.
see.
Right?
I see Party Next Door's first album, so you already got some. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Cool. So we have
Yeah.
should I go to my liked songs or should I go to
That says a lot. That says a lot.
what do you mean?
So,
bit like
What says a lot?
It
No,
says
this-
about, what you've been dealing with. No, the it might feel says a lot, but your like song is tell me more. Like
All right, let's
Let's
do
do
it.
like songs. Let's see what songs you like, dude.
All right, cool. So we have your classics, right? Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson, another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister. You got
Nice.
some Kiss,
Easy
Rock and Roll
Terrain.
All Night.
Did not expect that one, bro.
Wait, did not expect what?
Crazy Train. Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
Bro,
Sam Smith.
Alex, this is explainable, okay? Listen, I played a lot of Guitar Heroes growing up, so that song
Bro,
was
it's
one
a
of my favorites.
banger. Like, I'm not hating. I just didn't see it
All
coming.
right, cool. I have a few Sam Smith because I think he's pretty cool. I like his sound, right? In terms of R&B, let's start with
Kid Cudi. Yeah.
Stuck on You, Giveon. Some Kid
Alright.
Cudi. Right? When it's all said
I
and
don't
done.
see Gibby on the beach. I don't see Gibby on Heartbreak Anniversary. What going, man?
I'll tell you what going on. Here's what going on, right? I never gave it a listen because I
Okay,
just
okay.
discovered him, right?
Okay,
I'm
okay.
still
I
discovering
see ADHD.
Kendrick.
I see Sing About Me.
Me and I'm
Forbidden
Dying
Fruit,
of Thirst,
okay.
Poetic Justice,
Love it.
Money Trees, Forbidden Fruit, In the Morning. This is where R&B. A little bit of Frank
There we
Ocean,
go.
because come on, he's Frank Ocean,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Let's see.
Sure.
Some Kanye. I do a lot of Kanye. Right.
Ooh, by the way, I just remembered today. So Appalled by Kanye West. I'm
Oh.
gonna add that to my playlist. Gym playlist vibes, yo. Sheesh.
So
Okay, not to cut you off. Keep going.
What's going on? I'm kind of lost. Right.
I just remembered the song. Never mind.
All right, cool. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
Tyler, the creator.
Tyler, the Creator, of course.
King, man.
A little bit, right?
Plus Y.
Good bangers. And then you have your 1980s, 1970s R&B. I don't know if you know, but this is my favorite song of all time, What You Won't Do for Love. Crazy banger. It's really good. You should listen. Do for love, right?
Mhm.
J. Cole.
Amazing.
J. Cole
You
is
got everything.
But You Won't
Amazing.
Give Up. J. Cole is what I grew up on. J.
Yes.
Cole, right? He is my number one to listen to of all time.
Nice.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
look, there's a lot of like J. Cole here,
Nice.
and we have a few Billie Eilish because
Yeah.
then again, everyone has to, turn into
Be a
their
bad guy.
14-year-old girl self.
Exactly.
Just has to happen,
Pretty
right?
much.
So out of everything you've seen, and then a few J. Cole, Kill Edward. If you know who Kill Edward is, you've gained my respect. Tenacious D,
Come on,
because Ali knows why.
Oh,
I love
I love Tenacious D. I love
Right?
it.
Triple X, Post, Frank, and then that's it, based. So
Oh,
I
man.
just need to get rid of the Sam Smith, and I need to get rid of the Billie Eilish,
fair,
and then you'll be a 10.
fair.
But everything else, yo,
I don't see no Moh Flow. I don't see any Moh Flow on there. I don't see any Moh Flow on there.
Here's why.
No.
Where's your
Yeah,
like
man.
Here's
song?
why.
Why not?
Here's why. Because we're gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it, right?
Look, I'll tell you the problem with that. The problem with that is there's an H in that, an MOH. The second problem with that is
Okay.
that there's too many records for you to decide which one you're trying to put
All
on
right.
it.
So
Oh.
as someone who is about to give you a listen, right? This is great. This is great. This is very good.
Options
What?
look
Yeah,
like
you-
crowd favorite, man.
Like, I want your personal recommendation on what I should listen to first.
Yeah, I just saw you listen to rap, listen to Till Infinity would be a one. Put
Alright.
those in your like. Put
Nice.
put Options in your like.
Options.
All right, cool.
It's a fan favorite. It's with Pusha T also.
Oh
so
man,
that should be
Hell
a
yeah.
like.
that's
Which
amazing.
Scroll
which we
down
have
a
to
bit.
talk about, by the way. We're about to talk about this, but let's
We'll talk about that.
yeah, let's do with this for a second. So I'm already attracted to the title of this and this. Not gonna lie, because I'm a 4 a.m. guy.
4 a.m. is like some party next door shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, like on Faith, man. Dead One for sure. Do You Wrong
Holiday's a
for
great
sure.
one. I want to give Holiday a shout out.
All right,
Love that
cool.
song.
Let's do that.
Holiday is my radio vibe. And then Speaking Crazy is one of the first records that put me on the map.
Nice.
Fair.
All right.
So that's what
Check
we'll
those
do.
out.
We'll check this out.
Amazing.
Obviously, you don't have to do what I'm doing, or you should do what I'm doing. You should listen to all of them, because that's what I'm about to do tonight, right?
Amazing.
I'm trying to crack 50,000 monthly listeners. We're at 49,990.
Let's do it.
I need 10 of y'all motherfuckers.
And
Let's do it.
more.
Let's do it.
We can do that. We can
Let's
definitely
do
do
it.
that. Yeah,
Let's do it.
exactly.
Go check him out.
Push
Get
it
into his
over.
50K, right?
All right.
Pusha T.
Pusha T. We gotta know about the story.
We gotta know about the story of, first of all, how you got to do a Pusha T song. 1, 2, some controversies regarding you doing a song with Pusha T, which I feel like I have to discuss with you, right? Because there's a lot to talk about right here, right?
Oh, you have controversy that I don't know about.
We'll do it. Just give me a second.
All right. Man's got choices. All right. Yeah. Tell us about Pusha T. How that happened.
Well, man, 2017, I had just released this Is You, the album, and I was reached out to by a talent booker from Canada and basically trying to book me for a festival in Toronto. I was open to it, said for sure. Then after that, he kept asking questions in terms of, what kind of passport do you have, whatever. I started sending him all my docs, and then he was like, let me get on a call with you. He gets on a call and he's like, listen, man, this is not for a festival or anything like that. This is for a Spotify initiative. We're trying to fly artists out and link Arab artists with A-class artists from the US and the Western world, basically. And you've been recommended to us by a few of the artists that we respect and a few of the bookers that we're looking into. So it was like I had to sign an NDA and sent me a contract, and it had a Spotify letterhead on top. And your boy is literally the first. I just put my music on Spotify, so I had barely had like 200K listens in total on Spotify. So I was brand new to the whole even distributing on platforms. So
right.
We went through the process. They explained the concept to me. They were creating a film that was actually nominated for 3 or 2 daytime Emmy Awards. And this film was basically bringing Arab artists from the countries that were banned by the US president at the time, and bringing them to the Western world and connecting them with artists, telling their story and creating a mini documentary around it. So we were flown out to Canada. We were locked in a studio. We got to meet very amazing songwriters and producers like the Stereotypes, who did a lot of things for Justin Bieber and Bruno Mars. Some writers who've worked on like Dua Lipa and Justin Timberlake and Crazy Records. And as well got to connect beforehand with Push, send some records back and forth and show him what I've been working on in terms of my next project. And basically decided on what record we want to work on. He flew in, we locked in the stew, we got like most of the record done together. I had my parts almost done, but we kind of incorporated him into the song. We shot the mini doc, we shot a bunch of the around Canada stuff, and I went home, bro, and that documentary ended up doing a lot for me, and I even ended up being flown out to the US to do a 3-city tour with BJ the Chicago Kid, with Pharaoh, with Odyssey, and with Pusha T. to basically promote the documentary and do viewings in all these three major cities: Washington, New York, and LA. And yeah, it was basically I was picked by Spotify, so it was an honor to be on that project, because it was one of the most meaningful things, you know, that's come out of my career, to be honest.
It's listen,
That's amazing.
amazing,
Yeah.
right? It's just like that. It's really cool. But here's where the controversy kind of kicks in, right? Let's get into it, boys.
Let's get into it.
The guy has a beef with Drake. Like, and let's not beat around the bushes. Like him or not, Drake is like, he is up there, right? He is very much up there. So my question is, do you not have this little like fear that, oh, okay, I made a song with Pusha T, this might affect who fucks with me and who doesn't fuck with me in the game, and this might affect future projects that I'm wanting to do or might not want to do, right? So did you never have that thought when doing a song with Pusha?
Honestly, man, when that was obviously, by the way, that was all before the beef. First
Oh,
of all.
That was
okay,
before
cool.
the beef. That was before the beef. Yeah. Mhm.
Second of all, like you can never regret or look back into these situations, because you're talking about people, whoever they are, and you know, whoever's beefing today is not going to be beefing 10 years from now. These people literally shaped the hip hop game, like from A to Z. Like when you talk about Pharrell and you talk about you know, Push, and you talk about those days of them shaping Washington and DMV hip hop, it was a whole era that we were kids in the streets, man. So for me, somebody who literally used to run with Pharrell every day called me and said, "You're fucking dope. I want to do this record with you. And when I touch down in New York, you're going to open up for me and we're going to perform together. When I touch DXB, we're going to do the same." So for me, as an artist, I don't give a fuck what he's dealing with in the game. He's someone that is legendary to everybody, and he actually gave me props. So it's just, for me as an Arab Syrian, like we all said, like I'm such an immigrant, even to the hip hop game. To get respect from somebody like that is worth so much more to me than industry ties or relationships.
100%.
It helped me see the value of like, oh, okay, I could really fucking do this. You know, it was one of those moments.
Cool. So
Amazing.
who for you would you say is like someone you really want to work with? Like once you hit that goal, you'll know that's it. I'm done. I'm good. I'm satisfied.
I want to work with Ty Dolla $ign. I want to work with Kehlani. Yeah, I mean, and I want to work with Tory Lanez. I want to work with people like that. I don't know if I want to. I would obviously want a Drake feature, but you don't get a Drake feature. The God summoned the Drake feature.
Yes, that is true.
I mean, no, I think it's like, if you want to get a Drake feature, it's very possible, because Giveon did a Drake feature when he was like still very, like he was still like a C or a D celebrity list, I'd say. Now he's like up there, right? So it's really all to do with getting your name out there,
connections and networking.
Connections and networking is definitely, but I like, rumor has it that Drake listens to like these like small hip hop artists, and he, you know, handpicks one, raises him up to, you know, glory and fame.
And by the way, I know at least 4 people who can directly send something to Drake. I know personally, friends of mine. I cannot ask. I will not ask the favor until I have the most banging fire ass record that is like undeniable. I haven't made something that I have Ty Dolla $ign's number, I have Hit Boy's number, I have Young Guru's number, but I don't text. I don't know. I'm not wasting nobody's time. When I have something that I feel like is the one. Yeah.
That's the one.
That's
you know what?
That's
very smart of you, I have to say, because anyone can do a random feature with one of these guys, and you know, they'll get like a good amount. But if you have the one, like the one that makes you do this when listening to, you know, that feeling when you like, it just comes to you. You don't force it. Like if you do that,
know, even for me, the criteria is it going to be dope in 3, 4, 5 years? You know, for now, you go back and listen to Options, and I want you to tell me it's a 4-year, 3-year-old record. and people still text me about it till today. Yo, I fucking just found out all about options. This is crazy. So for me, I just want to make sure that whatever I put out is dope for years to come, you know, and
That's
even
true.
doper.
Which brings me to this conversation I have with every rapper artist we have on the show. Songs that are timeless, and then songs that are like they're good for a few months, a year max, and then they die out, right?
I want
How
to
do
build
you
on
achieve
that
it?
question. I
What?
want to build on that question, just on top of that, if you're.
Go ahead.
I also want to know, like, when you're done talking about those timeless songs and how they last with you, I want to know about, man, like, I've been thinking about this since early in the podcast, because you said you listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks. I want to know what you listen to, man.
You gotta tell
In
us.
terms of podcasts and audio.
I'm gonna give you my top 5 podcasts and the last 2 books I've been listening to. But I think I missed the last part of your first question. You're saying about timeless records and how do you achieve a timeless record?
Yeah, how do you achieve like a timeless song? A song where 10 years down the line, you can still listen to it. Something similar to What You Won't Do for Love, which is like 40 years now, 30 years. You know what I mean? So how do you achieve it?
I don't know. I just feel like that's why I always lean to melodic music, because I feel like melody and emotion always last longer than a flex or a trend. So I feel like always make sure that there's an emotion in your music if you want it to be timeless. Make sure that it's relatable. You have to be like on a normal human level, speaking to the regular person. Like, flexing records cannot be timeless. Telling me that you have a Bentley cannot be timeless. You know, it's hard.
It is.
You can tell me I have a Bentley, but I still want you. That'll be timeless, you know?
Fair.
There's like, you have to really try to connect with people, and the minute you kind of disconnect from the praise or the criticism that you're gonna get or afraid to get, you know, and just make something that you truly feel, I feel like you're a step closer to timelessness. But
I want to
the minute
comment on that.
you're chasing a trend is when you're losing, I think.
Okay.
I want to comment on that by saying, you know, I was listening to, I can't remember who he is, but he was talking about how music has been like transformative across cultures, and the fact that you say that, and it has to, you know, convey some emotion and connect with the listener. It just reminds us that, you know, music is very, you know, spiritual, is very transformative. People that listen to it, they get affected by it, you know, and if you look at stories that have lasted generations and generations, they've also had that same powerful ability to, you know, arise emotion within you and connect with you. And it's nice to see artists that are aware of that and not just, like you said, trying to figure out what the trend is and just jumping on the wave immediately. It's good to, you know, understand that, but also to incorporate the meaning of the music.
You got to do both. You definitely have to. So even when you go to like some artist discography, you can tell as an artist, you're like, okay, here you needed this, but here you felt free enough to do that. So you have to also allow the artist to go through their commercial phase, their deep phase. You know, we're human.
Man's gotta eat.
we sometimes man's gotta eat. Sometimes man goes through some shit and then loses sight of what's important. Because you know what I mean. Not everyone has the right support system. But I definitely feel where you come from. Let me give you an insight on my podcasting. All right, so podcast vibes. Shit, obviously, I listen to Joe Budden podcast. I listen to The Brilliant Idiots. I listen to Drink Champs, Joe Rogan, and then jumping into my my weird side, I listen to something called Case File, which is all murder mystery kind of shit. I listen to Sword and Scale, the most gritty, crazy stories you'll ever hear. Like the way they tell us, like you hear dispatch calls and like confessions and all murder, evil kind of shit. I listen to something called And the Writer Is, and it's basically interviews with some of the most iconic songwriters of all time. Pretty much these are like my top 6 podcasts.
How about
What
A to the show?
Yeah, that's gotta be on there. It's gotta be on there.
Gotta be on
Next
there.
time we have you on, we're gonna be like, next time A to the show is gonna be on there.
Look, man, I just subscribed this week, and I've been listening to your OT podcast this week. So
Thank you.
How was
Yeah,
it?
that was
How-
a great one.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this, right? I want to
Yes.
put you on the spot because we're almost out of time here. Listening to some of our episodes, what was your first impression of honest first impression? Go.
you guys have a cool chemistry. I feel like you guys. I don't know. I feel like you guys need to put people more on the spot. I feel like you guys need to say some more, like just say some more unpopular opinion shit. I feel. Be more like be more offensive a little bit.
We try to,
No,
honestly.
no.
Listen, if you don't get
That's
offended
right.
to our shit, that's just saying you're the same as us. I say a lot of offensive shit on the show. You can ask these guys. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
we've
fuck.
offended people in the past, to be fair.
To be
Love
fair,
it.
a lot.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
thank you.
That's how you're gonna make a name, man. But honestly, I love you guys' vibe, and you guys are one of the 3 regional podcasts that I listen to a lot. And
let's do it.
you know, it's Dufcan, Pasta
Dufcan.
Cups, Flamingos, and you guys are on the list for me now, man.
Thank
Perfect.
As long
Well,
as your guest curation keeps going up, I'm gonna stay with you guys.
hell
got
yeah,
it.
and we'll keep going up, and
Yeah.
we'll see you. I mean, you're almost at the top, but we're almost catching up. Let's do one more question by Eddie because he always
Yes,
has
I do
those.
gotta know exactly. I want to know. Do you, you said like when Pusha came and people were reaching out to you, you felt like very lucky that it happened. You think it was luck that brought you to Pusha, or was there something else?
I felt like, man, thank God to my support system, AY, and having a producer with me at all times. I was consistent. I was more consistent than any other artist that was in my age or in my situation during my time. So I used to release monthly and every couple of week records on SoundCloud. I used to do remixes. I used to drop a lot of shit, man. So I think that it's a lot of consistency and staying on people's head tops, even when I was whack, until I became better. And I also think a big part of it was branding myself. A big part of it was understanding that I have to dress better. I understand I have to package the album better. I have to create better content. Like understanding that, okay, I have a marketing degree. Let me, market Moflo like a product and see if it makes a difference. And it made all the difference in the world. Like the way people started reaching out to us was much different than it's all about comms. Like people don't understand that really marketing and branding is a whole, like it's a beneath the surface kind of thing that is hard to quantify sometimes. But if you set it and you just move according to it, I feel like it makes a big difference. So consistency, branding, and making sure that I look the part, and the music, man, like the actual art. I actually worked on it. I actually performed in 300 different venues, in 2 years. I actually did so much to make sure that I can get better at what I'm doing. And that's it. Like, thank God I got respect from, I think, people who recommended me for that. Because I feel like they would have recommended someone who was popping at the time. But thank God I think I was recommended by artists that felt like this guy is talented. So it was a lot of factors, man, but I also always feel lucky and blessed because I feel like it could have went to anyone else, So
True.
That's true.
Alhamdulillah.
That's true.
Alhamdulillah, honestly, and you have our respect here. Thank you for watching another episode of A to the Show. If you guys
Give me a second, Ali.
What's going on?
Let's give me one more
Yeah,
question.
let
for
go.
me.
One more question.
Yes.
No, I'm really glad. I just want to say I'm really glad that you mentioned that overlap between your marketing perspective and how you ran your creative career. And which brings me to my final question, which is, what advice do you have for people in the creative industry, making music or otherwise? You mentioned consistency, branding, and looking the part, but what else?
Something that I've learned recently as well is think less about your final product. Be less of your worst critic. Of course, allow your time to be critical of your art and make it better, but quit being so fucking hard on yourself. And this one Gary V thing that stuck with me is like, if you don't care about the compliments, you won't care about the criticism. So if we just stop giving a fuck about what people have to say and just really do things from our heart, I feel like it'll do a lot. But think less, produce more. If it's in your studio or if it's in your art gallery and no one has seen it, then no one will know your true potential. You have to put your work out there. I know artists that are sitting on 50 songs and 20 music videos, and I feel like they're just blocking their own blessings. So don't block your own blessings, and don't listen to anybody that tells you you're whack, as long as you're willing to put another couple of years into it and really work on it. Because anyone who was whack at anything became better. Everyone started horrible.
Everyone has to start somewhere, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Great
Well,
advice, man.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you very much for you guys
Thank
for
you.
watching another episode of A2 the show. It's great the show, my bad. If you guys enjoyed this episode half as much as we enjoyed making it for you, please do like, subscribe, share. We'll leave a link to Moh Flow's stuff and the link.
Yo, hold on. I'm gonna need y'all to like, subscribe, share.
Do that right now.
Squared show. Yo, I fuck with these guys. Great energy. This is a drop, yo. Use this as a drop. You're not watching.
We're using this as a drop for the next few episodes. Watch out, right?
Let's do it.
All right. Please do like, subscribe, share. We'll leave a link to his social media stuff in the link in the description below, as well as his Spotify. If you want to go listen to it, please go listen to him. Likes, let him know we sent you. Peace, love,
Peace and love.
happiness. We'll see ya.
Very nice. Whoa.